beautiful. That was fucking great. You nailed it. You nailed it. Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to my review for War for the Planet of the Apes, which of course is the rebooted, or I guess kind of soft reboot, because it is a prequel, but kind of reboots the franchise in a way. Whatever. Let's say soft reboot. Soft reboot of the Planet of the Apes franchise, of course. This is the final one in the trilogy, supposedly. We'll see. I'm hoping there's more. But, I want more. I really do. It's just a new trilogy. I'll take another one. I'll take something. I don't even care. It could be something else. Planet of the Apes versus Transformer. And no, actually, never mind. I take that fucking back. Don't do that. I was so freaking excited for this movie. It was my #1 most anticipated movie of 2017, and considering we have a brand new Christopher Nolan movie, a brand new Edgar Wright movie that came out, a brand new Star Wars, a new John Wick, new Wolverine movie, all these other movies that came out or are coming out that either were or look amazing, this being #1, it just speaks volumes to how much I love those last two movies, especially the last one. Actually, you know, screw it. Both of them are like, maybe not equally amazing, but they are both amazing. I absolutely love those last two movies, and I love the first one. And to be fair, I like some of the other movies too. Don't like the Tim Burton movie. do not like that. That took the cheesiness of the original and made it modern, so it just felt like a cheesy movie. Besides, what the original was trying to do was telling a real story with real characters and some science and stuff like that, and just being cheesy because they didn't do it. I mean, I love that movie, but, you know, for the time, it was amazing, but now it's cheesy. But the Tim Burton rebooted one, that was just straight up cheese. There's no real science or anything like that. I don't know. I love that original movie. I really do like some of the sequels. I don't like that reboot. But I love these movies. These reboots are how you do a reboot, where it doesn't tell the exact same freaking story and by changing a little bit of things here and there. It's a prequel, a story we've never really been told before, except that one Planet of the Apes movie. I forgot what it's called. What was it, Conquest or whatever? Point is that I haven't seen those movies in a very long time. It's been probably since I was a kid, but I love this franchise still. All right, especially the last two movies. So I was very excited for this movie. I was excited to see what's going to happen when Caesar and the other apes go to war. Apes together, strong. Mwah! Fantastic! The story for War for the Planet of the Apes takes place a couple years, actually 2 years exactly, after the end of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Or the end of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Gary Oldman called the army, and the army's coming, and Caesar is like banding together with the rest of the apes and saying, hey man, we gotta fight, we gotta do this war thing. I mean, he didn't say that. It was a way more dramatic ending to that. But point is that this movie starts off 2 years after, and the war has already kind of begun, in a way. It's like in the middle of the war. You're not going to see giant battles or whatever, but it is a war. It is a real war, except it's not. It's not Dunkirk. But you know what I mean. It feels like a real war where you have these two opposing sides, of course. You got the humans, you got the apes. The apes don't want to fight. Of course, Caesar still is about like, hey man, humans are, you know, maybe they're great. They're flawed. You know, they're definitely flawed. And I've known some humans to be really, really kind to me. Of course, my father, James Franco, and Jason Clarke from the last movie. He didn't say this because these are actors' names. But I know humans are good. And then something happens in the beginning of this movie where the Colonel, that's his name, he doesn't actually have a name, just the Colonel, played by Woody Harrelson, who is the leader of this Alpha Omega Squadron, who really wants to kill the apes. So, like, humans, for the most part, don't like apes, but this guy really wants to kill the apes really bad. Like, that's his life's mission. And he does something to Caesar that is pretty much unforgivable. It's completely unforgivable. And Caesar not only is pissed, but he's going and getting revenge. And he's going to go kill that man. And that's the story pretty much of War for the Planet of the Apes. Of course, there's more to it, but I'm not going to tell you the exact, you know, everything that happens. This movie, when it comes to story and comes to characters and the writing and all that, and just even like the performances with the mocap and the special effects, holy shit. But the little nuances that each performer gives each ape, especially Caesar, of course, Andy Serkis, is just incredible. Like, just the little movements, the little facial reactions and stuff like that. It's just beautiful and just well done to the point where even if you don't know an ape's name and that ape dies, you feel bad for them because you feel like they're real. You know that in your mind, you know that it's not a real ape because, you know, you're watching a movie. Even if it was a real ape, it's a movie, so they're not dying. But you feel bad for them because they feel real. All right, they really do, and it really does captivate you throughout the entire movie, and that is mainly because of the performances, each person that put on those little dots to do the mocap, and of course, the special effects, which are absolutely top-notch. They are unparalleled. If this does not get an Academy Award nomination, at least, then there is something wrong, because the Academy Awards is all about like special effects to actually tell a story or you know, enhance the movie in some way, not just because, oh look, here's an explosion, here's an explosion. That's why Transformers is almost never nominated. Even though their special effects are amazing, they don't tell a story. That's why Ex Machina won that year, and that's why Jungle Book won last year, because they enhance the story. This enhances the story by creating the characters. I mean, don't get me wrong, Andy Serkis, everybody else did too, but the visually, the animation and the texturing and the way the fur looks, which is freaking insane, and the way they react to like snow hitting them and react to other things in the environment, it's absolutely fucking flawless. There's not even one moment where I was like, the special effects are a little iffy here, or maybe they're okay, or even good. They're always amazing and top notch and just incredible. I have to tip my hat, if I had one, to the people that did all the visual effects. Oh man, just top notch stuff. But I'm not done when it comes to stuff that is just top notch and perfect. This movie, when it comes to storytelling and action and acting and characterization, it is one of the most balanced movies I've seen, because you get everything you want to see, really. At least I believe so. At least everything I wanted to see, okay? I wanted to get some real moments with Caesar and some of the other apes, and we get that. We get some heartfelt moments, a lot of emotion. Very emotional, this movie, especially if you love those last two movies and love all the characters. This one is very emotional. There is plenty of action. If you're looking for action, there is action. Now, when I say plenty, don't expect, like, I don't know, Transformers. Don't expect really don't expect Transformers from this at all. If you are, there's something wrong with you. But this has action. It definitely does. And when there is action, it's not just visual. Like, oh, look at all the cool explosions. The action serves the story and the characters. It really is a very intense movie, too, at times. Because when it comes to the action, it's not pulling any punches, okay? When people die, they die. It's not like, oh, they die, but then an hour later, I have returned. You know, it's a really dramatic movie. It's very intense, and when it comes to the action, you might enjoy the action, but you might also wish it didn't happen, because some bad things happen, and it really is a very, very tough movie to watch if you love these characters like me. I was tearing up quite a bit at times, but it is a brilliant movie when it comes to storytelling. It really tells its story extremely well. It's a very simple story, but it is very well told. You get every little thing that you would want from a movie like this. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not predictable. I know what I said made it sound like it's predictable, but you get what you want. You don't know where it's going, but when you get and when you go there, you're like, yeah, secretly, like deep down, maybe I didn't know it at the time, but I actually did want that. Does that make sense? The point I'm trying to make, or at least I'm trying to make, is that the filmmakers know what you want from a movie like this, even if you don't know yourself. What I mean by that is that there's a lot of people out there that just like the Transformers movies, you know, which you don't really get much characterization. You get a lot of explosions, you get a lot of action, visuals, that's about it. But that's pretty much, you get that in this movie. You do. And some people would be satisfied with just that. But wouldn't you also be more satisfied with the characters you actually feel for, and a story you can get behind, and a situation that you're like, oh man, I'm invested, like, oh, this war. Like, wouldn't you be really, really happy leaving that movie going, wow, they gave me way more than I expected? That's what I mean. These filmmakers, they're making a blockbuster, $150 million movie, but they're still giving you stuff that you would see in a movie that costs $5 million or $10 million, or maybe even up to $50 million, or from a Christopher Nolan movie, I guess. These guys are like Christopher Nolan. That's what I'm saying. I like how I completely wrote off Matt Reeves completely, and it's like, yeah, he's like Christopher Nolan. Imagine Christopher Nolan made the next Planet of the Apes. No, actually, just keep Matt Reeves. He does this well. Let Christopher Nolan do his next wacky tale of whatever. Like, wacky tale. Like Dunkirk, it's still wacky. War for the Planet of the Apes is just an incredible movie. That's really all I have to say. I mean, it has superb acting. Andy Serkis gives an amazing performance. He does so much with just a little bit, because, I mean, he does have a lot of dialogue, don't get me wrong, but there's times where he has to emote, and because he is a master at emoting, it's really, it's so good. He's so good in this movie. Everybody's great. Even Steve Zahn, he plays a character named Bad Ape. He's great in this. It reminded me of Toby Kebbell from the last movie, where he came out of nowhere and he played Koba, and he was amazing. He actually almost stole the movie. Kind of same thing here. Steve Zahn did a great job with mocap, man. I'm glad that more actors are embracing the mocap, okay? Because these movies, when it comes to special effects, this is how you do a movie filled with special effects. Not shitty-ass CG blood effects or CG explosions and stuff like that. This is how you tell a story with special effects, okay? You actually enhance the story because you really do believe these apes are real. You believe in them. Whenever they emote, it's not distracting because it looks bad. It looks real. You really do forget. Your brain does. While you're watching it, you forget that this isn't real. You know? Well, you know it's a movie, but what I'm saying is you don't think about like, oh, that's a CG ape while you're watching. You really do think you're watching like a really, really well-trained ape doing oh shit. It's an amazing film. I will be doing a spoiler discussion, so I don't want to say too much more. I will just say this movie is absolutely incredible, and you need to go check it out in the theater right this second, and just forget about some of the other shit that came out this year that has been fucking terrible, that I just want to gouge my fucking eyes out. Go see this. It's great. I mean, there's been some really good movies coming out. I really enjoyed Spider-Man. I loved Baby Driver. You know, go see this as well. Go see all those. Don't go see turds like The Mummy, Transformers, The Boss Baby, anything else, Baywatch. Fucking hell. There you go. Anyway, thank you. Until next time, goodbye.